Now, in Topeka yesterday, and this happened all over the country, but in Topeka yesterday, there was a protest that happened. And it wasn't a big protest. It was like, a few dozen people that were there to protest Elon Musk. I'm looking at I just can't help but laugh because I'm looking at some of the people who are in this Kansas Reflector piece. It's a statewide online-only publication. And, it's right at a central casting of Northeast Johnson County. I'm just looking to see a line of Subarus in the background of, these individuals. Boomerville Central, Northeast Johnson County crowd taking the day off to go protest Elon Musk. The reality is these people are individuals who had the day off for President's Day, union workers, public sector employees who are mad at Elon Musk because, some of them may lose their jobs via DOGE. That's what this is. Because a lot of us were working yesterday. I know that markets were closed and, a lot of people are off for President's Day, but there's a lot of people who still work on President's Day. So a handful of people took off in Kansas, and they went down to protest Elon Musk in Topeka. Now, I don't know if Elon Musk could pick out Topeka on a map, to be honest, but they wanted to, I guess, do their duty and go protest Elon. And here are some of the signs they had out in Topeka yesterday. Fire the real parasite, with a picture of Elon's face. And then another sign I'm looking at here read, no one elected Elon. Well, guess what? You and I didn't elect the nameless, faceless bureaucrats who have been running the show and growing government in Washington, D.C. for generations now. Didn't vote for that, but now Elon is the boogeyman. And Laura Kelly taking a very similar tactic to what we've seen from our local politicians, whether it's Sharice Davids, who has sent out emails, and I've gotten those emails as a constituent of hers on the Kansas side of the state line, that has made Elon the boogeyman, not Trump. Her emails have never mentioned Trump. They've only mentioned, interestingly, Elon Musk. Quentin Lucas has taken shots, interestingly, at, once again, Elon Musk, not taking shots at Donald Trump. And then, of course, you've got Emmanuel Cleaver doing his thing, making a total fool of himself over the last week or so.
Mustard, moo.
I don't even know what that is. But Laura Kelly, at least she decided to speak some English yesterday when she commented on this. And according to the Kansas Reflector, the governor of Kansas said, I'm very concerned about what's going on in a number of agencies on a federal level, where access to individuals' personal private information is being made accessible to people with no security clearance and no accountability. Okay. I know there are some people who may say, hey, what is Elon going to do with my social security number? Do you think about that when you go out there and book a flight? Do you think about that when you go out there and hand over your social security number to some random person at the DMV? That's what I did last week. What about when you call up some call center for your insurance company, you give some random person who might not even be in the country your social security number? If you don't think about it then just be honest with yourself. You're finding a reason to try to get people outraged at and by Elon Musk. That's what you're doing. You're not actually concerned about giving out your social security. Heck, we all do it too willy-nilly. I admit there are times when I'm like, I can't believe I just give this thing out like it's candy to people. And yes, there are ways to protect yourself, and maybe they'll, become a sponsor on this show, and we'll endorse one of those companies one day. But for now, there are plenty of ways to protect yourself because you need it. Because that number is out there for way more people than we all realize. Because we do hand out that social security number way too frequently. But now, somehow, the richest guy in the world is potentially going to get your social security number and do what with it exactly? With all due respect to all of us, is Elon Musk trying to steal my identity? If nothing else, I think people are trying to steal his far more than he's trying to steal ours. What would he possibly do with my identity? What would he possibly do with yours? You tell me. I mean, we haven't been in this place for so long, and this is the other layer as you peel this onion. We have been in this place for so long where politician after politician on the Democratic side and the Republican side, let's be clear, both parties have failed us on this. This is not exclusively a Democrat thing. Republicans, now they're all like, doing their song and dance and going rah, rah, woohoo, this is great. They've grown government as well. They just haven't been as awful at it as Democrats. So they get to kind of hide behind this whole thing of like, we're not as bad as them. They're still awful. Okay, let's be very clear. They're still awful, Republicans. So with that, they're able to kind of say, well, Democrats are worse, so they look like the good guys once in a while. But because of the decades and decades and decades of government growth that have failed the American people, that has made a handful of people inside the Beltway very rich, that has hollowed out cities across America, that has driven inflation via government spending that the government does not even have. Middle America has been worse off. And now Trump says to Elon, yes, the richest man in the world, which is irrelevant to the story, but more importantly, somebody who has built some of the most incredible businesses of the modern era. He says, go in there, figure out what's going on, find your top level engineers, and if it needs to break the whole system and rebuild it. That's what's going on here. And if the politicians for decades didn't fail us, Elon Musk would not be in the position that he is today to assist the federal government, to assist this administration in trying to get costs under control, which also will lead to inflation getting under control. So Laura Kelly just I ripped this out of, Dem Playbook 101 and read the first page. And then she went on to say that there have been discussions, this is in the Kansas Reflector this morning, on how Democratic governors could collectively respond to chaos and confusion in Washington. She said, we're having conversations about that, adding, we're just like we were during the pandemic. When the president does something that is in the best interest of our state, we're all there. But if not, we should push back. What is there to push back on right now? I mean, you tell me. I don't, she may find something to push back on, but I'm not seeing it. 913-408-7957. Mike's in Olathe. He's next up on KCMO. What's happening, Mike?
Hey, good morning, sir. Just driving on this lovely road. Hey, where was there a big concern about privacy when you demanded to know our vaccination status so that we could go to a restaurant or go to a doctor or do anything? And people are dying because you can't go see them. Where was there concern about privacy then? I mean, holy crap! You got arrested, you got accosted, you got fired, you lost your commission if you were in the military. When was there concern about privacy then? This guy's a genius. He's doing everything right. He's helping us. Of course they're concerned. Of course they're concerned because they're going to lose their stupid gravy train and all these people that are protesting. They've been in their rooms. They've been in their basements working for 2 years, getting paid. My gosh, it's so evident. It's ridiculous.
That is well said there, Mike. That's a nice job there, buddy. Stay safe on the roads. But listen, I got nothing to disagree with on that front. Didn't care about privacy when people were getting shamed, right, during COVID. But now all of a sudden, DOGE might have some way to filter through your social security number, and it's like a constitutional crisis and the end of democracy as we know it? Who's buying that? Unless you've been in a coma for the last half a decade, who's possibly buying that right now? 913-408-7957. It's 8:15 on a snowy Tuesday morning across Kansas City. Glad you're with us on 95.7 FM KCMO. Tirade Tuesday is 20 minutes away. It's going to be hit or miss. You guys are going to have to help me on making this a great Tirade Tuesday because it's only as good as you make it out to be. Tirade Tuesday in 20 minutes. And speaking of what Mike just said there, he brought it up.